Hi everybody and welcome to Tip Tuesday. Today is Tuesday, March 23rd, and we're going to be sharing stencils with you today and how we use them, different ways and forms of products that you can add to using stencils. And we're doing this because your paper pumpkin for the month of March included some stencils. And a few people reached out and said, hey, it might be a good idea to do a Tip Tuesday on how to use stencils and what kind of products you can use with them. And to top it off, Kelly is going to be doing our Technique Thursday with a card that features stencils. So with that, let's flip the camera down to see what we got with stencils. Okay, so in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, if you go to page 146, you will see these black squares that have a pattern in them. And they are called Basic Pattern Decorative Masks, and what they look like, and I know the catalog never does justice to see how big something is, but they are 6 inches by 6 inches. Let's get a white piece here so you can see this is what one mask looks like. And then there's another mask that has trees, so you could do an outline or some background with some trees. This one is like flower buds. They actually look like hops buds to me. So there's that one. And then this one is polka dots. So these are currently available in the annual catalog. There's 4 masks for $6. And what I'm going to show you today is how do you use them with paste. So there's a couple different paste options. We did last week go over shimmer paint, which is here. And then there's 2 of them. And the shimmer paint is up here. There's a frost white and a champagne. And last week's Tip Tuesday, if you missed it, you could go back and watch that. But I showed how to use shimmer paint. And then I have to confess, I opened up the paper pumpkin just so I could do this Tip Tuesday for you, so I could see what the masks look like, just to show you. So this is one of the masks that is a free gift. So it's Paper Pumpkin's birthday during the month of March. I believe they're on 8 or 9 years. There's a sunrise. Isn't that gorgeous? So there's that one. And so they included, there's clouds. So that makes a cool cloudy background. And then this one is like a mountain scene. So different mountain backgrounds. And so because it's Paper Pumpkin's birthday, they gave a free gift. And it included this pack of 4 stencils, but then they also included a sponge as well. So what I would do with this sponge is I like to cut my sponges into sections. So I would cut this in half, and then you could cut it into thirds or in half again and get quarters. So you could either get 4 wedges or you could get 6 wedges out of this sponge so that it just will last a lot longer instead of using this big honky sponge for one thing. So that's the free gift that was included in the Paper Pumpkin. And if you guys are watching this video and not sure what the Paper Pumpkin was for this month, I told you I opened it up, so I can't deny it. It was a very pretty box that looks like this, and it includes a set of dies, or a set of stamps as well. You have enough materials to make 8 cards, and it came with a little Calypso coral ink. And I have, let's see here, I have 4 extra. Well, yeah, 4 extra at this point. So potentially 4. Definitely 3. So if anybody missed out on the March Paper Pumpkin, reach out to me soon while I still have some available in case you're looking for one. So I can always ship it directly to your house. Okay, stencils. I just want to show you different ways that you can use stencils. I'm not going to make anything with them. I'm just going to show you how you can use them using paste, coloring your paste, using sponge daubers. You could use sponges. They have these palette knives that are actually, I missed showing them to you, but they were down here on the bottom corner right there, the palette knives. And they have 3 different sizes. And then I was also going to show you using the blender brush. So no rhyme or reason, just want to show you different ways to get different looks with them. Kelly is going to be doing the Technique Thursday, actually making a card for you using this stencil right here. So stay tuned for Thursday for her. Okay, so let's see here. I just grabbed some scraps of paper. I grabbed one of my favorite colors, Rich Razzleberry. And what I'm going to do is show you one way to use the mask, and we're gonna save that for, let's see here. So what you do is you set the mask over the top of your cardstock. So what people tend to do is they'll grab washi tape that they don't mind using up, and they use that to help hold down their mask so it doesn't move around on them. So on this one, what I'm going to do is set my mask over the top, and when I'm using a mask, I'm going to pay attention to where my pattern is. So I want to maybe center it so that there's an equal amount here on this edge as there is on this edge, versus putting so that the proportions are accurate. You guys know I'm a little bit anal about having things line up, and so I will. Not everybody's like that, so that if that doesn't seem like something you want to worry about, then don't worry about it. But I'm looking on here to see once where it might look best. So I have a row here. A column here, a column, column. And so I think that's where I'm going to end up with laying my mask. And I'm going to use washi tape to put this down. Now, you guys know that we don't know it all. So if you have any ideas or want to add anything in the comments of this post, you guys are welcome to add anything that you do to help make using stencils easier for you. Now, I didn't tape the piece of paper down below, so I am going to try to hold my paper as I use it. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is use a sponge dauber. So this one is the Frost White, and then this one that they have is Champagne Mist. So you can use it's shimmer paint with stencils. Now, I like to use sponge daubers, so they fit on my finger just like this. If they don't fit with your finger, just hold them like that. But I shook that a little bit. Not sure if you caught that or not, but I shook it a little bit. And I don't try to dip into the shimmer paint itself. What I try to do is just lightly tap until I get some shimmer paint from the cover. Now, if you go to use this right on your paper, it's gonna leave a thick white blob. So I always go off a little bit on the side and kind of warm it up into the sponge dauber. And what you can do then is gently go over the stencil with the shimmer paint. Now, these stencils can kind of be rough on sponges. I'll be honest with you. They can make them worn very easily. So just know that you want to go gentle over the stencils just so that they last a little bit longer. This sponge is loved, so that's why I chose to use it for this one. It's gonna be a little bit more forgiving with the using that, because it's got bumbles all over it. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but we've got bumbles all over it, and with the stencil, it's gonna make more bumbles. So this becomes my sponge dauber that I use for this kind of thing. And so that's our first go round on it. Now you just wanna kind of casually look at it to make sure you didn't miss any. And I think I missed a whole section right here. And you guys will see what this looks like when I take the mask off. Now, with the shimmer paint, when you're done with the mask, you can take this stencil and just run it right underneath your tap water. I'd say some warm tap water. Cold won't make it come off as easy. I think warm will be a little bit more helpful. So that's shimmer paint. So let's put our cover on, and using a sponge dauber for that matter. So shimmer paint and sponge dauber. Then what you can do is you peel your tape off of your mask. You can pull your, so that sponge is loved, and so it leaves little sponge particles everywhere, but check that out. It's got this shimmery, it's got that shimmery look to it with that pattern. So you basically create your own, you can create your own background with stencils. Okay, so that's paint with a sponge, okay? So let's get this off of here. Now what I'll do is I'm just gonna set this behind me so I can clean it when I'm done here. Okay, so the next thing we can do, let's use, okay, sponges are pretty much the same way. But sponges are harder to get out with the shimmer paint. So what you could do is pour a little shimmer paint onto a block and then dip your sponge in it. But just know that this is just a smaller area, and doesn't go all over the sponge then and get soaked in. Okay, so we're gonna do, so that's shimmer paint, boom. Now we're gonna, because I wanna show you paste yet, and then coloring paste using palette knives. And then also one of the things that is cool with, we could also do ink color with, we're gonna use a blending brush. So like sponge daubers, sponges kind of interchangeable, but we're going to, and I shouldn't actually have a piece of Melon Mambo. I was gonna do Melon Mambo ink, and here I had Melon Mambo cardstock. So let's hold up and grab a white piece of cardstock to use for our Melon Mambo. So I guess I wasn't really thinking about melon. So Melon Mambo ink on Melon Mambo paper would be good, but you guys won't see the dramatic effect of the color. So let's do that. So we got Whisper White, and we're gonna use Melon Mambo with, which one do we want? Oh, let's do this one. So same thing here. I'm gonna put my piece of paper down, and I'm gonna grab my it's my washi tape. We're gonna grab that and kind of help to keep holding it down there and there. And let's get that little guy under there, and we're gonna grab one more piece over here. Okay, so now what we're doing is using ink, and then we're gonna use a blending brush. And here, we've done this in the past too. We've done a couple times where we've shown you how to use the blending brushes, but I always dab off a little bit because look how thick it is. And then I start off the page, and with the blending brush, I like to use circular motion. Now, this is awesome if you want to create a really cool ombre effect. So Kelly did a technique Thursday a few weeks ago with the Butterfly Brilliance. It must have been the last Thursday in February. And she just went over the top of embossed butterflies that were white. But you could also get a really cool effect with the ombre with a mask. So check it over, see ones like, I can see them a little darker here, a little lighter, a little darker. If you want to add, you can always add color, but you can never take color away so well unless you're using a color lifter and your alcohol blends. Okay, so I used a blending brush with some ink with a stencil. So let's peel this off so you guys can see what it looks like on the cardstock. It's just a Whisper White, basic white cardstock. So there's how it looks using a dark ink, or you could even use a lighter ink on the white so you can see the difference. And then that was using this pattern right here. Now this is water-based ink. So again, I'm gonna just set this stencil by the sink, and I can just rinse it off and then let it dry by setting it on a paper towel. And then with the blending brushes too, one of the tricks is just rinse it out and make sure you dry it this way. So with the bristles down and the head of it back towards the top, and then the water will drain out of it. Whereas if you let it dry this way, all of any residual ink will get pulled up in here. You don't really want that. Okay, so there's ink with a blending brush. I'll set that there so we have a reminder that we did that one. Okay, next what we're gonna do, grab our Melon Mambo piece, and this is a stencil that is polka dots. And this is the one I'm most excited to show you about, because we don't use, or I should say, I don't pull out the paste very often. I love using paste on winter cards with snow. I don't always use them any other time. So this will be good because I actually got 2 new jars for having in the hive. So I have a set up in my craft room, and then I have a set down here, and they're not even opened, guys. So look at this. This is exactly how they come, with a piece of foil over the top. So the paste that I have upstairs is old. The last time I used it was actually for the paper pumpkin alternative card I did with a gingerbread house, probably back in November. So if you want to see how I used paste back in November, it was the paper pumpkin video, making a gingerbread house at the end of that one. but these open up. And that paste that I had was 2 or 3 years old and it had dried up. And I added water to it and it rehydrated it. And it was a little chunky, but we worked through the chunks and it still worked. But this is like frosting. So the palette knives come in 3 different sizes. This really weird shape that is a thick one, a pointy one which allows you to get into little spots, and then more of a frosting knife here. And this is like frosting. Oh man, you guys, it's hard. I just opened it and it's hard. So it shouldn't be that hard. This should be like frosting. And so here's, this is exactly how the one I had that was 3 years old was. Okay, so let's open up the other one and see what the other one looks like, because this should not come this hard. So if you guys ever get a embossing paste that when you open up for the first time is this hard, contact me if you ordered it through me, or if you don't have a different demonstrator, but whoever your demonstrator was that you ordered it from, or yourself if you're a demonstrator, you should call Stampin' Up and they will send you a new one, because I didn't expect for this to be like this. But we can add water, and my sink's right behind me, so we're gonna check out this one though. Let's see what this one looks like. Maybe we'll have a little more success, but you can add water to it. And oh man, so this one, okay, the difference between these two is this one is pure white and this one is actually shimmery. And let's see what this one, so there's lots of little glistening sparkles in there. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see that, but that's full of little iridescent glitter. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is embarrassing. That is hard. Oh no, you guys, so this is exactly what is not supposed to be. Okay, so we're gonna shut that one up and we're gonna call Stampin' Up. And I'm going forward with this video because this is what happens sometimes when you get your products. Okay, not all the time. Like generally stuff that you receive should not come like this, but I am telling you it does happen from time to time that you'll get something that isn't exactly right. So I added a little bit of water to this, and the water just needs to get worked into the paste here, and we're gonna work it around until we get a little bit of a frosting like consistency. And I'm gonna try not to splash all over the place while I do this. So you guys, you know, it's like with any company, sometimes you get things and they're not exactly how they're supposed to be. And I will tell you that one of the things about Stampin' Up is you always get good quality. And if something like this happens and it's not exactly the way it's supposed to be, they stand behind their products 110%. So I know that I will call Stampin' Up later and they will send me 2. And they're also going to check, I don't know how they're going to do it, but generally they will check. Like, so if you get some blends that are dried out and you need to get replacements, they'll open the markers up and just test them before they send out a new set of markers for you. So that's one of the things that is the most amazing about Stampin' Up is their customer service and their dedication to making sure you get a good product. So I'm just working at this, and you guys see what I'm doing. I'm getting to an area where I can work with it now. That water. So what happens is it's paste. It's kind of like frosting. If you let frosting sit for a long, long time, the water that's in the frosting will eventually evaporate out and it will become hard. And this should have a consistency like how it is right now. It's on this side where I'm working at it. I'm going to take this little chunk out of here because he's in my way. But it should have been all completely fluffy white frosting. So we're working it really quick here just to get it so I can show you it on the stencil, because to use paste on a stencil is super awesome. It gives it a little bit of thickness where you put the paste. And so I'm going to grab a little bit of this here and we're going to put this on here. And what you do is you just smear this around and it will soak into, not soak, but so the stencil is, I'd have to guess, like a 30-second or so like thick. It's not super thin, but it's not super thick either. And what you do when you use paste is you just work it into the grooves here of where the holes are, or whatever your stencil is. I picked the holes when I was picking the previous here. I thought, oh, I'm gonna save the circles for doing the paste, just because I thought that they would be easier to work with paste than that pattern. So you can see what I'm doing here is I'm working this into the holes, just like that. And what this is going to do is create a background that is kind of raised. Okay, so you see what I did is I only went there because I want to show you something else that's really cool about paste. I'm not taking this off quite yet because I want to show you something here. So what you could also do with paste is you could put it, let's see here, we're going to grab this guy. You can put paste on your block and you can add ink. And so right now the paste comes white, and what we're going to do is a little baby drop of Melon Mambo. And then what you do is you are creating a new color. I should have did a different color, but because Melon Mambo on Melon Mambo, you're not going to see it so well. So picture this paste is not, it's not up to snuff right now, guys. It begs to need a little love with more water. So I've got a lot of chunky monkeys in here, and you can probably see that it's not like the most fluffy, but you can see what I'm trying to do is add color to the paste. And it's making this really pretty pink. And what you can do then is make pretty much any color paste that you have ink for, and then you would drop it on your project. Oh, you know what we should have done is, I'm gonna sneak just because I want to show you the color difference. We're gonna sneak this white piece in here just so you can see here. So we're gonna spread this pink paste over the top of the white. And again, you guys, I'm right in the middle of this video and I'm not about to go upstairs and run and go get some other paste that I have. Just know that it should be a lot fluffier and smoother. So if you have your paste and it's 3 years old, I can bet you any money it's gonna be a little bit dried up and you're gonna have to add water to it to fluff it up. So, all right. The awesome thing about this paste is it looks so cool when you change the coloring of it. And you just spread this around like this, and then when you're done, you can take the extra and put it on here. You can see as I was spreading that around, it got to be a lot smoother and softer. Okay, so here's the magical moment, guys. Pick off your mask, and again, just take it to the sink and rinse it underneath water, and it should all get really nice and clean. Let's get this out of the way and throw it in the sink. But that is what, oh, I'm caught. So that is creating a background with the paste, and it's very hard to see it in the camera, but it does have a height to it because the paste, the fluffier it is, the thicker it can get in there. But here's what the paste looks like on the Melon Mambo cardstock, and you can see here where I overlapped with some of the pink. So paste can be a little bit messy when you use it, so you definitely want to have yourself a good scratch sheet underneath so that you can mess that all up and then throw it away. But yeah, okay, so next time I'm live, I'll tell you my results with my paste and then Stampin' Up! And them sending a new one. And when I do get new ones, what I'll do is sometime when I'm in a live, I'll show you how fluffy they should be. So the other thing that I do for storing my paste is once these seals are off, they don't fit on here really good. So what I will do is I will take saran wrap, I'll cut a square, and I'll put the saran wrap over the top of this, and then I'll put the cover on, just like that. So then the saran wrap helps to keep extra seal in there. It's an extra seal. Or you can use aluminum foil too. Aluminum foil is a little thicker than saran wrap, so when you put it on, it might not catch the threads so well with your cover, where saran wrap will definitely do that. So for this one too, this might end up just being tossed when I get my new one from Stampin' Up. So, okay, well, there you have it. So that was your Tip Tuesday using stencils. and they're fun. They add a little bit of a different look to a card, and you can use them as the background for a card, or you can use them as the focal point too, depending on what your stencil looks like. Stampin' Up! Used to have different types of stencils from the past. I probably have 2 other sets that were from previous catalogs, and now we have the 4 that are included in the paper pumpkin. The sun one is my absolute favorite. I mean, the mountains are pretty cool too, but what we're gonna do on Thursday night for the paper pumpkin Facebook Live is we'll do an alternative card using one of the stencils. I'm putting myself on the spot here because now I think, oh shoot, now I gotta make a card with that. I'll have a little bit more time to prepare though. So Thursday night's alternative cards might be a little bit more thought out and prepped in my head. So it won't be so spontaneous, but still I'll have some awesome cards for you guys. So, all right, well, I hope you guys have a great rest of your Tuesday and you enjoy the rest of the week. We'll be back with you on Thursday for Technique Thursday and then for the Paper Pumpkin Facebook Live class. Lots of love and sunshine and hugs to you all. Bye.